Hi, all. Happy evening. So, I welcome you all to the fourth day of UI UX course, which is organized by Rotary Club of Madras Metro and supported and presented by Tech-iera Innovations Private Limited. So, glad to see you all here in the fourth day of the course. So, just drop me a hi or good evening in the chat just to know that you guys have joined and are hearing me as well. Superb. As also to register your attendance as well. So I would like request you all to type in your name as well as your register number here in the live chat and get you registered in the initial phase of the class. Superb, guys. Thank you so much. So before I could take the session forward, I'd like to congratulate many of you. That I'm very happy that you guys showed me the assignment that I gave you. Some of you have beautifully crafted the start icon that I showed you here in the class, and I was very happy witnessing the same. Right, thank you so much for that, and that shows how responsible and committed you feel towards the UI UX class. Great that we are witnessing, and we are also getting a lot of support from you guys as well. Done. So as we are discussing about user interface design, okay, so like what is the platform that we can use to create the design process and the colors, and how we can create one button, and what are the techniques that we can handle here in the tool to design a button and all that. Okay, so today I thought I can show you different concepts of user experience, okay, which is the other side of user interface. Okay, so before the design process starts, okay, so here I'll just show you the design process. Or Okay, so here I'm just going to display you the process of app development or game development. Okay, whatever it is, it deals with the similar kind of approach. Right. So here we are seeing this diagram wherein we are able to see different phases, different process of development. Okay. So the very first step is going to be the analysis. Okay. So the product researchers will be analyzing what is the what are all the functionalities that are required, and what are the other things that are expected from the product, and what is the main idea of the product. So all these types of things will be analyzed in the first step. So once the analysis is done, the process will go to the second step, which includes the planning. Okay, so how things are going to be executed and what platform it is going to be built for, whether it is going to be built for a phone, or it is for a laptop or desktop, or it is going to be built for an iPad or tablet, or if it is going to be for iOS or Android. So all these types of things will be done here in the second step, which is the planning. So the third one will be the design process, so wherein the user interface design is done. Okay, so a user interface design is what we are seeing currently. Okay, so this type of design and all that will be done in the next third step of the process. Okay, so once this is done, then the content will be finalized. So what kind of content we are going to display and all that will be finalized over here in the fourth step. So once this is done, then the application elevates to the fifth step, which is the development. Okay, so here coding, programming, all those things will be happening over here in the fifth step. So once everything is done, then the application will go to the sixth step, which is the testing. Okay, so testing the application. So how usable the application is, or if the user is finding any difficulty in the application, and if there are any bugs in the application or errors that has to be sorted out, solved. Okay, so to decide all these things, testing process is done. Okay, once testing is done, then there is this deployment. Okay, deployment is nothing but launching the application to the targeted device or targeted platform. Okay, so that is, if I am targeting the application for mobile, if it is going to be mobile app, then I'll be deploying it to the mobile app thing. Or if I'm planning it for iOS, I will be deploying it in iOS. All right, so depending on whichever I am planning over here in the second step, so depending on that, the execution will be done in the seventh step. So this is the process of development. Okay, so this is the process of app development generally. So now we are seeing about the third step, which is design. Okay, so in this design itself, yesterday whatever we saw here was the physical appearance of something. Okay, so when we go into an application, the first thing that we get to see is the application's interface, right? So with the buttons, the options, and settings, so all these types of features of that particular application is what we get to see in the first see here in yesterday's class. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to see something which is related to human brain. Okay, so which is related to the understanding of human brain, so that is called as psychology of design. Okay, so there is a design process, and for that design process there is a psychology that is handled, and that psychology is what we are going to learn about right now. So before I get into the psychological part of it, I want you all to take up a paper and a pen, and please make a note of whatever I am going to tell you in the upcoming minutes of this class. So before that, I am also displaying this app development process cycle over here. You can also please make a note of the same. So type in done here in the live chat if you are done taking up a paper and a pen and noticing the app development process. Yes, I'm just expecting you guys to type in done here in the live chat so that I can proceed further with the other things that are coming up. Good. So meanwhile, you do that. So here I am. Okay. So not clear in the sense you are not able to see it. So the first step is analysis. Second is planning. Please make a note. First step of the process is analysis. Second step is planning. Third step is design. Fourth is content. Fifth is development. Sixth is testing. Seventh is deployment. Please type in done if you have written this. Great. Okay. So now we will proceed further. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you something very important that you have to know and understand if you want to create a good user interface. Okay. So now comes up a question. Why should I learn something related to psychology when I am learning to design? Okay, so that is the question. So now here, okay, now as a designer, I can just take care of how a design looks like. Okay, but why should I be really concerned about how a human will understand all these things? Might be your might be the thoughts that you are getting in, because as I mean, in a nature way, we as humans get tend to be a bit afraid or a bit hesitant to take up psychology or anything related to human science that easily. Okay, so there, maybe you might be an English student or physics student or math student or nutrition, or the one who has taken psychology itself, or one who has taken chemistry. So you guys are in belong to different sort of disciplines, right? So as a student who has different sort of disciplines, so what could be the purpose for you to learn psychology in design? So the reason is that whenever, I mean, nowadays, wherever or whenever you see, the first thing that you are able to witness from your perspective is the design. Okay, so here things become even more serious, that how a human brain consumes a design. Okay, now I am just leaving off this icon over here. Okay, so as soon as you see this particular design over here, all of a sudden I want you all guys to type the answer here in the chat. Okay, so when you look at this particular design, what is the immediate thought that comes into your mind? You can type your answer in a word here in the chat. So what is the thought that comes into your mind when you look at this particular design which is here? So you can just type your answer in a word. Nuts and bolts. Okay, good. Any other answer? Any other? Okay, so here we have the we have the Google search screen. Okay, so as soon as we get to see this search bar, okay, so have you ever thought, okay, amoeba? Oh, yes. So possibly you should be a science student, right, Jason? Okay, fine. So here when we just closely look into this search bar which is over here. Okay, so the search icon, with what you are able to relate this search icon to? When you look at this search icon, what is the association you have with this icon in your mind? So immediately when we see this search icon, we get remembered of this magnifying lens, right? So same thing, each and every single icon which we see here in the digital media reminds us of some or the other object that we might have encountered in our daily life. Okay, so what happens is whenever you come across a design, okay, um, yeah, so whenever you come across a design, so it becomes necessary for your brain to know and comprehend what is there in it, okay, because as soon as your brain looks at something, immediately it comprehends that object into an object that you might have seen in your daily life. Okay, so this is called as, I'll just type it out here. So this type of approach towards a design is called as human centric design. Okay, so here a human centric design means that whichever you are designing according to how a human brain will comprehend it. So that is how, that is what called as human centric design. Okay, so even the icons that you are able to see here in Figma, okay, see the pen tool. Okay, so the nib of the pen is given here. Okay, which is, wherein we as a user will not feel strange towards this icon. As soon as we saw the pen, we see a pen's nib over here, so our mind comprehends that, okay, this is something that is related to writing or drawing. We might not know what tool it is, okay, but as soon as we are able to see the nib, we are able to relate it with the pen's nib. Okay, so like that, each and every tool that we come across, each and every icon that we come across, tells us a story. Okay, that icon is comprehended by the human brain in some or the other way, and this process is called as human centric design. Okay, so when we talk about human centric design, it becomes necessary that we also talk about other few things. Okay, so first thing out of all that is, when I gave you the orientation class, I don't know how many of you were there in the orientation. So I told you about that the yellow color is related to happiness, celebration, and all that. So, and also when I was talking about shapes, I told you that triangle shape is related with growth, all that, right? So, like that, there are a few certain psychological aspects that we have to take care about as well. Okay, so here I am going to display you about all those psychological aspects. So the first one, the first thing that we are going to discuss is about psychology of shapes. Okay, so there are different shapes that we have. Okay, out of those shapes, there are different types of psychological perspectives for each and every shape. Okay, so now the first shape that we are going to see is about circle. Okay, so whichever shape is circular in size, okay, so those shapes are related to unity, community, stability, friendship, and feminine. So circle shape is mostly associated with these types of psychological aspects. So please note down and keep. please write it down and then type in done if you have written it. Yes, so circular shapes are related or comprehended with these sort of meanings, which tells us about unity, community, stability, friendship, feminine. Okay, so these are the different associations that are there with the circular shape. Then we have uh, the triangle shape. Okay, so triangular shapes are related with masculine power, science, and law. Okay, so here triangular shapes are associated with the psychological feeling of masculine power, science, and law. So if you notice well also, what is it, in courts and all that, we get to see the kind of balance that is over there might also be in a triangular shape somewhere. If you had noticed, you will know it. So that is the other one. So the next shape that we are going to see is square shape. Okay, square shapes are related with strength, efficiency, practicality, and professionalism. So if you get to see some popular social media sites also, you'll be able to see square shape logos. Now for example, I'll just type in Facebook. Okay, the icon will show you will show you in square. Okay, so these types of things, and yeah, Instagram also, it is in square shape. Okay, and LinkedIn also, if you just go through, it is also in square shape. Yeah, so square means professionalism, efficiency, strength, and practicality. Okay. Then next thing is vertical lines. Okay, so vertical lines, when we talk about vertical lines, the immediate thing that we get is whenever we get to write the degree that we have learned or we are doing, so we get to include that line, I mean horizontal line, right? So before getting into that, we will just see about vertical lines, which tells you that which conveys the meaning of aggression, progress, strength, masculinity. So wherever there is even it is closely related with the association of the human heart rate, that wherein we get to see in the graphs. So what happens is, when there immediately when we look into the graph of the human heart rate, we'll be able to relate with this kind of association. So this is what about vertical lines and its psychological aspect. So next is horizontal lines. So horizontal lines denotes calmness, speed, community. So next to horizontal lines, okay, now that we have come to the end of psychology of shapes. Okay, so now your task will be to find out logos of any Fortune 500 companies. Okay, now I'll just go to Fortune 500 companies. Okay, so we'll just go through their logos. Okay, we have these many companies and their logos, and also some. Okay, now I'll just open this. Yeah. So when you go through these logos, they will tell you the meaning behind it. Now, when we take this Adobe logo, it is in square. Okay, and again, when we take American Express, it is also in square, right? And when we take again, we have this Kawasaki thing, and again, even though if it has the words typed in it, it also appears like a square. Okay, and also when we take this Broadcom, it is defined in the triangle shape some or the other way. Okay, so like this, each and every logo that you get to see will have a psychological aspect hidden behind it. Okay, so you go look into the companies, look into some popular companies, and then you come back with you come to an understanding, uh, like what is the real aspect behind that logo or that shape of the logo. Okay, so this thing, to find out, this is your primary task. Okay. So you need not have to come back and tell to me, but just go through research and then get to know the meaning, or what does it convey. Okay, so this is your personal task that I am giving you. So now when we talk about psychology of shapes, it is also mandatory that we talk about psychology of colors. Okay, so there are different colors, and each and every color conveys us different meaning. Okay, so here I have just brought in the colors and their meanings. Okay, so I'll just zoom into it. Okay, so here the first color that we are going to see here is about red. Okay, so red color. So when we talk about red color, so the color conveys a meaning of passion, power, confidence, and love. So I'll just make it bigger. Okay. So the red color conveys you the meaning of passion, power, confidence, and love. Please make a note of all this. This is all important when you design the user interface for an application. Okay, please type in done if you have noted down the colors and their meanings. Orange color conveys trust, energy, playful, optimistic. Okay. Next color is yellow, which conveys happiness, hope, fun, and cheerful. Fourth color is going to be green. When you think of green, the immediate association that your mind will get into might be the greenery, trees, okay, land. Then what else? When you think of green, what is the association that your brain thinks of? Can you please type it here in the chat? When you think of green, what is the immediate picture that comes to your mind? Yes, I want you guys to answer. Come up with something. When you think of green color, what is the image that you get in your mind? You can just type in the answer. You needn't have to be right all the time. You can just type in. Okay, yes. So square shape is associated with professionalism, and orange color is related with trust, energy, playful, and optimism. Okay, Jocelyn has given us the answer growth. Okay, good. So any other answer when you think of green color? Now I'm asking you to close your eyes and think of green color. So what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Trees, good. Any other? Mountains, nature, good. Any other? When you think of green color. Okay, nature, fine. Yeah, so here again, when we see about the psychology of colors, then again, green color is associated with peace, harmony, nature, reformation. So when we need to see something very new or raising up again or something like this, over there we can use green color. Okay, so you will be able to relate it with any kind of play button or pause button or start button in any games or applications if you have handled. So over there you will be able to see this start button given in green color. Even the one that we designed yesterday was having green color in its start button function, right? So yes, Kavi Priya. So fresh is also that comes to our mind. So like this, the color is associated to a human brain. Okay. So similarly, when we think of blue color, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when we think of blue? Where all do you see blue? When you think of blue color, what is the feeling that you get, or what is the visualization you get when we see blue color? So for green, you guys told me it's nature, trees, growth, and all that. So when you see blue color, what is it? Sea, good. Sky, very good. Pleasant, yes. Okay, so when we look into the sky and see, what are the emotions that we get? How do we feel when we look at the sky and sea? Cool color, okay. Okay, so when we look into these things, there is a kind of pleasant feeling that we are undergone by, right? So when we look into them, we feel that there is nothing better than the sky and the sea. So when we look into them, we feel that sometimes they do behave, so different, right? So when just take this sea. So when there is a lot of other things that sea cannot take in, so immediately what it does, it tends to reform the entire thing, and it knows how to clean itself, right? So everything is happening. So when we think of all these associations, it closely tells us the ideology of calmness, intelligence, trust. So when we think about blue color, it is these kind of emotions that are conveyed. So please note it down. Blue is associated with calm, intelligence, trust. So this is why the reason why we are able to see a lot of good, branded companies logos in blue color. If you closely notice, you'll be able to see all that. So here Pfizer, then Crocs, HP, Honda, right? Yamaha, so Ford, Intel. So many companies that we know closely itself are with the blue color. Okay. So there is a psychology behind this blue color as well. So now next to blue color, we'll see for violet. So violet color is related with wisdom, royal, compassion, and creativity. I'll repeat it again. Violet is related to wisdom, royal, compassion, creativity. Okay. So the next color is going to be pink. And the pink color denotes us about optimistic, feminine, creative, innovative, and childish. So mostly there is a stigma that people think that pink color is associated. I mean, pink color is what is denoted for a girl, baby, or a woman, right? So that is the association that our brain also has been done for it. So pink is related to optimistic, feminine, creative, innovative, and childish. Then we have this black color, which is related to modern, power, sophistication, strong. To explain something which belongs to all these categories, black color is used. Okay, again, when you take a closer look into this Nike and all, you will have this only black which is showing up, right? So that and what else? What else you have in black? Yeah, so iPhone also, Apple's logo is also like that. So not just in logos, in everything, these concepts are applied. So again, I'll repeat, for black color, it is denoted for modern, power, sophistication, and strong. Then we have this brown color, which denotes us about stability, friendly, comfortable, and natural. Brown color is for stability, friendly, comfortable, natural. And we have gray color, which indicates neutral, calm, wise, and professional. So gray color indicates neutral, calm, wise, and professional. Please drop done in the chat box if you have noted all these colors, because now you guys are going to have an activity. So if you have noted down the colors, please let me know by dropping in done here in the chat. Yes, guys, I'm just waiting for your done. So if you have noted all these things, you can please post done here. I'm going to give you all an activity which you have to do. So just post done here in the chat. Or if you want me to repeat something that you didn't understand or you are not able to see, please post that as well. Brown color psychological aspects denotes stability, friendly, comfortable, natural. Stability, friendly, comfortable, natural. Okay. So now, please type in done so that we can proceed for the activity. Yes, guys, done. Type in DONE here in the live chat if you have done noting things down. Okay. Yes, super. So now, good. Yes. So now we are going to do an activity. Okay. So for that, I want you guys to keep the WhatsApp group active. Okay. So what you are going to do is, as I tell you a use case, you are going to create a button. Okay. And also give the button a shape and give the button a color. Okay, and then you have to take a screenshot of it and post it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so now let me just give an example. All right, so I want you to create a button which allows the player to restart the game. Okay, so I will tell you the criteria like this. So then you have to come up with a shape for the button and also the suitable color for the button. Okay, so this is how your tasks will be. You understood, or you want me to repeat the example again? Okay, yes. So now we will start the activity. Shall we, guys? Just drop here in the live chat if you guys are ready for the activity. Okay, I will repeat it again. So the activity will go like this, okay, wherein I will tell you a use case, okay, and you have to create a button in Figma for that use case, okay. So for that you have to use suitable shape and suitable color according to the psychology that we learned um, right before this. Okay, so for example, what I told was, if I am telling you a use case of create a button which allows the player to refresh the game screen. Okay, so there, what shape you will give for the button and what color you will give for the button. So you have to create this, and then you have to send that as a screenshot. You got the, Jocelyn? Okay, I will tell you like this, okay? So create a button which allows the user to restart or refresh the game. So this is the condition I am telling you. So now please create a button with suitable shape and color in Figma, and then post the screenshot of the button in the group. Your time starts now. So your time for this is going to be next 3 minutes. Okay, now the time is 7:48. Okay, 7:52 is what you have to submit. You have to send the buttons. Once you have sent me the button, you can please post in a like over here in the live chat. Yes, done. You have only one more minute. Who has completed? Guys, someone who has completed, can you please type in like or done here in the chat? Ruth, I have received your image, but the thing is, I want you to design it. Don't take it from somewhere else. I think the activity hasn't reached properly. I will repeat it again. Okay. So, thing is, I want you to design uh, the use case that I address. Okay. So, the first use case that I addressed was to create a refresh button in a game. Okay, so this is the use case. Okay, maybe now I will tell you the second one. Okay, this can be a bit easy for you guys. Okay, so now I want you to design a background. Okay, background means, so here in this, I hope you are all able to see my screen here. So in this screen here, we are having this blue color background, right? So on the blue color background that we have here for this particular interface. Okay, so here uh, the background is designed for this interface especially, right? So now I want you guys to design a background for a game which includes players fighting with their enemies. Okay, so I will repeat the case again. So this is going to be a background. Okay, the one that you are going to design is going to be a background of a game. Okay, and then the background, the game logic or the game idea will be about players fighting with their enemies. Okay, merely something like PUBG or Call of Duty or something like that. Okay, so you have to design a background for the game's interface. So, what will be the color that you choose to design the background for such kind of game? You draw it in Figma and you send it. Okay, Hashni, I have received your button too. So we have to give the BG color which relates with fighting now. Yes, yes, Ruth, same. So you just go through the psychology of colors that I gave you, and you have to design a background that suits with fighting behavior. So once done, you can please send that in WhatsApp. Once done, you can please type yes or done here in the chat. Yes, done. Okay, so Ruth, I received your output. So can you type in why you prefer to give this color for a fight kind of scene? Kavitya, I received your image too. Uh, Ruth, I asked you, can you please type in why did you prefer to give this color for a fighting background? And Kavipriya, I received your refresh button. Looks good, but I will also be even more happy if you could bring in that arrow mark also properly, because these are the things that will help you to learn the tool. And Padma Priya, I received your play button, but I'm expecting more from you. Guys, can you please hear me now? Could you type here in the chat if you are able to hear me? Ruth, Kavipriya, are you guys able to hear me now? Guys, can you hear me? Okay, done. So Ruth has given us an answer saying that she wanted to choose black because black refers to strong. Probably strength is needed in a fight, so I chose black. And to give a cool vibe, I chose blue. Okay, okay. Yes, yes, this is another type of perspective that we can take up. Okay, but when it comes to when it comes to this I mean Figma tool, okay, so just check if the black's opacity level is low. Okay, just check in that opacity slider wherein you I mean here. Okay, and I'll just show it to you. So now when I click on this one, so here you'll have the color, right? So here is the opacity controller. So in your black color thing, just check if your slider is over here. because in the image that you have sent me, I am not able to see black prominently. So I am just able to see some white. So just check if the slider is in 100 or 0. Okay, fine. Okay, I have received uh, the image from Jocelyn, and she has shared us another type of design. Okay, girls, it will be better if you could drop in some in the group or something. I'm not very sure if you can do it. So Ruth, sorry, not Ruth. Jocelyn, you can also drop your message in the group as well. So whoever has sent me privately can please drop your respective images in the group so that others also can get to see what you guys have. I mean, what is your perspective towards the design? Okay, so you can just please post um, in the group. Yes, Jocelyn has sent us the image. So yes, Jocelyn, I see this type of button as a different approach towards whatever is there right now. So could you please tell us what is your perception towards this button, Jocelyn? The same way, Ruth, Kavipriya, Padmapriya, all of you also can please send the same in the group. Okay, so here the kind of activity that we are currently doing is just for you guys to know and analyze what you can handle for which situation or circumstance. Okay, so if I am giving you a situation of fighting some kind of a serious tone, okay, so there you can use red and black. So in some of the games also you might have seen the red and black kind of out I mean background wherein it appears merely like this. Yeah, so have you seen this? So the background will be in this way, and then when you take the buttons, okay, so the buttons also will not be I mean they will either be simply rectangle or they will be a bit kind of rugged kind of appearance. I mean the buttons will have they'll not be in a proper rectangle. They'll be just like this, or some buttons will be even more. What? Yeah, some buttons will have few more points like this. Okay, and yeah, and the buttons will have this kind of appearance. Okay, they'll either appear like this, or they will have mostly the kind of uh, some kind of sharp edges will be there. They'll not be smooth. So all those kind of I mean, this is how the buttons and all will tend to appear in some games which have this war, fight, these kind of moods. Okay, so this is another type of approach. And one more thing is, as we were also discussing about shapes. Okay, so here when we talk about user interface, shapes also do really matter. Okay, so here what happens is, when we are bringing in some cool games, like the games will not be so serious. They'll be just moody. They'll just be calm. Okay, so let's take for example the games like Candy Crush. Okay, so if we take a look into the Candy Crush game, so we have the breezy color tone. Okay, so blue, pink, and different sort of colors. Somewhere it is even yellow. All right, so this kind of approach is there towards the application. But the same thing when we take PUBG or Call of Duty. Okay, so here I'll just show you Call of Duty. The application's interface itself, can you just see the type of mood it creates itself is very serious. Okay, so over here also you can see that rectangle which is given. Okay, so I was telling you, right, the rectangle will not be a proper rectangle, so there'll be just an altered type of rectangle. Even to display the points, you will have the rectangle's appearance like it. Okay, so like this, you will have difference in the shapes and the color tones whenever you're dealing with something very slight or very serious. So depending on the mood, you have to bring in the alterations in the color as well as the buttons. Okay, so when we talk about this, here I am going to tell you about a few other few other techniques in Figma when it comes to buttons. Okay, so here I'm just placing this one. So now what I am doing is, I am just placing this rectangle on this star which is over here. Okay, and now I am going to make them together as a shape. Okay, so for that I am selecting both the uh, shapes. Okay, after I select both the shapes, I am navigating here to this icon which says union selection. Okay, so if I click the drop down, I will have four different types of selection. So the first one is union selection, wherein okay, now what I'll do is I'll just bring in some colors to let you know the difference between what I am doing. Okay, now I will select both these together. Now if I give union selection, so what will happen is, two different objects will turn as one object. Okay, can you see it now? But one thing when we notice is the object which is on top. Okay, so logically here, this rectangle is on top of the star. Okay, so when we when we select both the shapes together, and when we give this union selection, automatically the entire shape takes the color of the shape which is on top. So if I give union selection, automatically the entire color changes to violet. So here, if you want, you can just go here, go to gradient, and then you can make some changes in the color. So all these things can happen. Okay, so once you have defined what color you are going to use, and what is the shape that you are trying to derive, so there you can just use the union selection. Okay, now if I am drawing, yeah, let me just draw uh, an ellipse. Okay, and now I am just dragging it here. Okay, and again what I am doing is, let me just rotate it, and now I am taking a copy of it. Okay, let me just place it over here. Okay, now these are two different shapes. Now if I want to combine them together, what I can do is I can just select both, and if I give union selection, now both the shapes will be combined together. Okay, now I can give gradient, and yeah, I'll just give this gradient, and yes, I can choose between different colors that I want to give my gradient. Okay, so you can create good logos using this union selection as well. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll go to the next type of tool. So for that, again I'm drawing ellipse. Okay, and now I'll just duplicate this ellipse and place it here. Okay, so once I have placed it, now I am going to select both. Okay, so after selecting both the shapes, now I am clicking the drop down here, and then I am going to give this subtract selection. So if I give subtract selection, it automatically subtracts the selection that was excessive. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just make it a bit closer like this, and then let me give it a nice white tone or something. Okay, now I'll select both, and then if I give this subtract selection, I have got a crescent. Okay, so the same way I can just move it, and I can also form a flower kind of appearance out of this if I want. Okay, it's not that top, but yeah. So you can just duplicate it, and you can access any shape together. So this is about the subtract selection. Okay, now the next thing what we are going to have is again I'll draw a star this time. Okay, and then I'll just increase the count of the star. Okay, and then let me draw one ellipse. Okay, now I will just fill in any random color. Okay, so now I'll just drag and select both, and here I'll give this drop down. Now I'm going to give this intersect selection. So as soon as I gave intersect selection, it just retained the sphere shape alone, because this is the area where my shapes are intersecting. Okay, now if I Now I'll just move this and keep it here. Okay, now I'll try to give intersect selection. Can you see this? So whichever part was there, so it just intersected for that part alone. Okay, now I'm giving it here. Let me just select both the shapes together. Now if I give intersect selection, so it'll look like this. Yeah, so this seems like a good logo. So I don't know, for some reason I kind of feel this to be Groot's hair. I don't know why it is. So you all know Groot character, right? So I don't know, for some reason I feel it so. Yeah, so this is about intersection. Okay. The next thing that we are having in the row is exclude. Okay. So for this again I'm just going to randomly draw a polygon. Okay, and maybe I'll increase its size to 5. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll draw ellipse. I'll make it smaller. Okay, and then I'll just duplicate it and place it on top of each corner that I have here. Okay, now I'll select all these things and then I'll just go here. I'll give exclude selection. So can you see? Whichever part or whichever area was intersecting, so that area, I mean here the intersection point was this. Okay, for this shape and the circle shape, the intersection point is this. So whichever area is intersecting over there, the selection is excluded. So this is the shape that I finally get after excluding selection. Okay, the same thing, if I give intersect selection, everything will be gone. So now what I'll do is I'll just see, I'll go here, I'll give intersect selection. So if I give subtract, it becomes like a piece of cheese. Okay, if you give some yellow color for this, and if you create some holes here and there in white. Okay, so I'll just make it as white. Okay. So yes, so these are the 4 different tools if you want to create good shapes out. Okay, so now I'll just select these and I'll make union selection. So what happened was the shape was made together, but still, since the holes were, I mean, the circles were given in white, I mean, the entire shape turned to be white in color. Okay. Yes, so this is how you can handle different tools in Figma. Okay, so now next to this, we will just create, we'll see, I'll just go here, I'll just give us icons. Okay. Okay, so we will create this arrow mark. Okay, so to create an arrow mark, what I'm going to do is, let me first, okay, so here you have this arrow mark. Okay, but what will happen is, yeah, so this is how you can create an arrow mark. So you can also define whether you want it to be a line arrow. Okay, that is both the sides you will have an arrow, so you can use this. Or if you want a triangled arrow like this, or reverse triangle. Okay, so you can just use whichever format of the arrow you want it to be. Okay, so this is how you will create arrow icon, and yeah, so I'll just rotate it. Okay, so the same way you can just define which is the type of thing you want it to be. Okay, so this is how you create arrow marks here in Figma. Okay, now next to this, in case if we want to create an arrow mark like this, okay, so for that what I'm going to do is let me create a polygon. Okay, now I'll just delete this. I am drawing a polygon. Okay, now what I am going to do is, in order to bring this line which is over here, I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay, so I am just selecting both and I am aligning them together. Yeah, so now I have drawn a triangle and a rectangle. Okay, so to make it together as one object, what is the strategy that I can handle? If I want to combine both these objects together, what is the technique that I can handle? Now I just make union selection out of it. So what I am doing is I am just selecting both the shapes together and I am going here. Let me give union selection. Okay. Now both the objects are combined together as one object. Now in order to bring that kind of point wherein, yes, exactly, so wherein I can just move this point over here and this point here. Okay, then what I can do is I can select both these points together and bring it like this. Okay, once I have done it, now I can just place it here, then I can make union selection. So together, this is the arrow mark we are getting. Okay, so here I would like to register something which is yes, so which is also has to be concentrated. So now let's say I am drawing a rectangle. Okay, so some people might have a doubt like where I get to add a point. Okay, so to do it, what I am doing is double click on the shape. Okay, once we have drawn a shape, then I am double clicking on the shape. So once I have double clicked, here I have some stripes. Okay, so when I scroll my mouse, when I hover my mouse onto the edges of the shape, I get to see one extra point over here, and automatically my cursor turns into a pen icon. Okay, can you see the difference? So here when the pen pops up, it means that I can um, add one more point just by clicking there. So once I have added one more point there, okay, now I have added one point here. The same way, what I'm doing is I'm just hovering my mouse onto this, and then I am waiting for the pen icon to pop up, and once the pen icon shows up, I am just clicking on it, and then one more point is created. Now I can just click on the point, okay, select it and make changes for that point alone. So similarly I can also select this point and then make some changes for this point. Okay, so like this I can create any shape that I want just by double clicking on it and getting a icon, and I mean getting the pen icon showing up, and then just adjusting the shape according to whichever shape we want to create. Okay, so this is how I create additional points over here as well. Okay, so first what I did was, I'll just repeat it once for you. So here I am drawing a polygon first. Okay, so for this polygon there are only 3 points. One, okay, 1, 2 and 3. There are no other points additionally. Then what I am doing is I am drawing one rectangle. Okay, so I am just drawing the rectangle like this. And now what I am doing is I have to select both, and I am giving union selection. Okay, so now uh, two, two different objects have become one object. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm just double clicking on it and I'm checking. Still these two objects seem to be different if I double click. Okay, so now what I am doing is, in order to bring this bend in the arrow mark, okay, so I am just hovering my mouse just by double clicking onto the shape. Okay, after I do it, and just hovering my mouse onto this edge of the triangle. Okay, now what I am doing is I am just clicking on it so that one point is created. Now I will move this point till here. Okay, again I am hovering my mouse onto this point that shows up. Then again I am just selecting the point, okay, and moving the point here. Okay, so I am just keeping this rectangle as the mark, and then I am dragging and moving the points. Okay, so once I have done it, then what I am doing is, um, so now I am selecting both the points together. Okay, after I select both the points together, now I am holding, now I am scrolling my mouse, and simultaneously I'm holding shift. Okay, and then as much as I have to bend my arrow mark inside, I am bending that, and then I am leaving my cursor off. So now what I'm doing is I'm selecting this rectangle, taking it here inside, and then selecting both and giving union selection. So now I have created one whole arrow. Now I can go to this fill color, and then if I want to apply linear gradient, I can do that. Okay, and then if I want to apply radial gradient, I can do that as well. So depending on the requirement that I have, I can just make in changes for the uh, icon. Okay, so this is how I can create arrow mark in Figma. Okay, and yes, so here we have a few other shapes, okay, wherein we get to see these website icons as well. Okay, so this takes a different a different thing. Okay, so now not confusing you so much, let me just go to this location pin and mail icon. So like that, I'll just take you guys. So for location pin, we have okay, so to bring in that curve, what I am doing is I am drawing one ellipse. Okay, so here we have to, sorry, yeah, so here we have to draw the outer circle, and then inside we have this pin. Okay, so to bring that, what I am doing is, now I have drawn the outer circle. So to bring that inner circle, what I'm doing is I'm just duplicating this. Okay, I'll just keep it outside, not to mingle with it. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm just double clicking on it. Once I have done it, again the notes pop up. Okay, so once the notes have popped up, now I am selecting this point and I am dragging it like this. Okay, so now I am moving the arc like this closer, the same way I am doing it here. Okay, now we have created the inner pin. Okay, so now we have to create one more circle inside this pin. Okay, so this time the circle is going to be red with white stroke. Let me increase the stroke. So now I am going to make this look like, okay, let's see the color here. Okay, so here we have just a red. Okay, no stroke. So I'll just subtract the stroke, and this shape I am bringing it to white. Okay, and again this shape I have to, okay, again this shape I have to fill it with this same red color. So now I'll just take this in. Okay, so now I'll just select all these three, then I'll align them together. Yes. So my location icon is created. Okay, the same way if I don't want to create the outer circle, the same way as I showed you before. So I'll just duplicate these things. So now I will have to change the color of the outer shape. So here I am just dropping it as red, and the inner circle I am making it as white. So this is how I can alter the colors. Okay, so this is how we can create location pin. So next to this location pin, now we will create this mail icon. Okay, so for the mail icon we require a polygon and then uh, a rectangle. Okay, but we will do this in a different aspect now. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a rectangle. Okay, and then we are going to make its corners rounded. Okay, so now I will just bring some color for it, or I'll just bring blue. Okay, so now next to this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a polygon. Okay, and I'm going to inverse it. Okay, and then again I'm going to round the corners of the polygon. Okay, now I'm going to bring it here, fix it, and scale. Okay, so now I have brought in this one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with the stroke color. Okay, so now I'll again uh, fill it with this blue color. Yes, and our mail icon is ready. But now what we are going to do is uh, we are going to Um, yeah, okay. So here we have brought in the thing, but here the rectangle seems so obvious, so I am just aligning it accordingly. Okay, now I'll just select both. If I make it union, both the shapes combine together. Okay, so for that I'm not going to do it, and now I'll just leave them by grouping. So my mail icon is formed. Okay, so similarly, if you want to just handle with its stroke, you can also do that. Okay, so this is how you can create multiple icons in using Figma. Okay, so yeah, the same way you can also create YouTube icon very easily. There are also several other tools that you can handle, but still, as of today, I'm going to stop till here. And now, I mean, as I told you, the assignment will be for you to recreate whatever is here in this image. Okay, and I think that I have not yet posted the image in the group, so we'll be doing it right after the class now. So once I post the image, so you can just start creating the same kind of buttons and same kind of words, okay, that is home, back, setting, so all these types of buttons can be the same. If you want, you can change the color theme of it according to whichever kind of mood you want to create for your user. So you can just handle between different type of colors, but if you are dealing with colors, you shouldn't go different colors for different buttons. Okay, so now let's say here we have the same color pink for all the kind of options we are showing the user. The same way for these types of icons also, the same background color is given. Okay, so this you have to see cautiously, that whenever you are dealing with creating buttons, you should not go for different types of shapes. So you have to be common in giving the shapes. Okay, so having said that, you will receive this image in the group right after the class, and your attendance is posted here in the live chat. You can please go to that and register your attendance. And thank you so much for showing up on this fourth day of the training, the UI UX course, which is organized by Rotary Club of Madras Metro and supported and presented by Tech-iera Innovations Private Limited. Having said that, I am signing off here.